Hello guys, this is my reaction to the playoffs yesterday between the Tennessee Titans and the Patriots, and also the Houston Texans and who they face? Buffalo Bills. I'm going to start off with the Texans game. I really have no idea how the Texans won that game because the Buffalo Bills in the first half, I mean, it was 16-0 by the time they're going into the half. And then they come out, and then next thing you know, at one point, J.J. Watt has a sack on Josh Allen, and that completely turned the tide of the game. Like, it just, like, sparked the offense and the defense. And next thing you know, the Texans have, like, 19 unanswered points. And then Buffalo Bills luckily are able to kick a field goal at one point, and it's 19-19 to go into overtime, and they just keep on going back and forth. I mean, they punt the ball like a couple of times back and forth, and then finally the Texans get it down to field goal range. They kick the field goal and they get out of there and they win. Man, much respect to Deshaun Watson in that game. I mean, that dude, he was sacked 7 times. I mean, the Bills were just killing him out there, and man, I love that dude. Deshaun Watson, he's a fighter. You know what I mean? He just keeps on going and going and going. And honestly, I'm a huge Cowboys fan, and that's the way I feel about Dak Prescott. Like, he never gives up. You know, even when you think he's done, he's not. You know, and I know that sounds bad right now, counting on the Cowboys to even make it to the playoffs, but Dak Prescott, he always fought. You know. And that's what I like about Deshaun Watson, too. That's my second favorite quarterback in the league because, you know, no matter what you do to him, he's always going to fight back. Much respect. Now, the Texans, I don't know if they're either going to face the Chiefs or the Ravens next week. Honestly, against either of those teams, I don't think the Texans can win, but you never know. I think that, I mean, they have a decent chance, but if they start off the way they did with the Buffalo Bills, they aren't going to win. Not against those offenses. They will outscore them and outplay them on both sides of the ball. So they can't go in there playing conservative. They can't go in there like thinking that, well, as long as we get some field goals and we can trust in our defense. These are two different quarterbacks that they're going to be facing. Either or. Like, say, they're either going to face Pat Mahomes or Lamar Jackson. Most people would agree with me. They are a lot better than Josh Allen. They are not going to give the game away like Josh Allen did. You know, I mean, that was pretty bad by Josh Allen yesterday, going back, because he kind of choked the game away. I mean, it was... I've seen him fumble the ball a few times. I mean, he was not playing very smart. But, I mean, the first half, Josh Allen, fantastic. Second half, I mean, he's playing like a rookie out there. And this is his second year as a quarterback in the league. Making a lot of dumb mistakes. But next week, it'll be very interesting to see what the Texans will do. To be honest, I've adopted that as my second team because I really want them to win. You know what I mean? I really want them to win out. But the one thing that's holding me back from saying that they're going to win out is that it's the coaching. Bill O'Brien, he's just a little better than Jason Garrett, in my opinion. I think he's failed this team more times than I can count. You know, I think that they need a new coach because there's so much potential on this team, but it's the coach that's keeping them from going higher and higher. I mean, I saw a stat or something saying that it was the Texans' first playoff win since 2011. You know, and I think that with all this talent that's on this team, that they should be better than they have been. But that being said, they won yesterday, and I'm hoping that when they go to the divisional round, whether they face the Chiefs or the Ravens, that they're going to go in there and not play conservative and just fight. You know what I mean? Because that was a heck of a win. Now on to the Titans-Patriots game. Now that, I mean, it was a defensive game, the entire game. That was crazy. And to be honest, I was rooting for the Titans because We've experienced so many Patriots Super Bowls over these last few years that it's crazy. I needed a different AFC representative, and now we don't have to worry about the Patriots. The Titans won. Despite Ryan Tannehill, because his stats, like, at the end of the game, I looked at it and I was like, man, Ryan Tannehill must have played really good. And it's like, he threw for 73 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. But basically what they did is they relied on their defense, and they relied on Derrick Henry, because he had like 183 rushing yards. And, they just ran the ball with him. He took care of business. Patriots could not stop him. He was unstoppable. And, man, that was crazy. And Tom Brady, this could be potentially his last game as a Patriot, but I really don't know if it is. People say that he might get traded, he may go to the Chargers. He may retire. He may return as a Patriot. He'll probably return as a Patriot, to be honest. But it'd be interesting seeing him go to a different team. Now, I'm a Cowboys fan, but I just couldn't. I don't like the Patriots whatsoever. I cannot stand that team. I respect Bill Belichick, and I like Tom Brady, but I do not like that team. Now there's teams throughout the league that I don't like, but I do like players on the teams. Like, I don't like the 49ers. I can't stand them. But I like Jimmy Garoppolo, and I like Nick Bosa, and I like certain players on different teams. And I do like Tom Brady. I do respect him. I think he's a good quarterback, and I'd like to see him go to a different team and see what he could do, like if he went to the Chargers. I would love to see that. But we'll see. But again, back to the game is that the Titans, they took care of business. That head coach for the Titans, it was in the fourth quarter, and he pulled off a Bill Belichick to where they were in opposing formation, and they decided to just run out the clock, and they just kept on going back like they get these penalties. It's 5 yards, 5 yards, 5 yards, and they just ran down the clock from like 6 minutes to like 4 minutes, and that was a complete Bill Belichick move. And then they punted the ball. And now, given it was like on the 50-yard line or whatever that they did this, but it was just crazy. It was because Bill Belichick did it earlier in the year, and this guy completely stole it from Bill Belichick, and that was just awesome. And next thing you know, they punt the ball. I'm sorry, it's just seeing the Patriots lose was awesome. This is the best year because I am so tired of seeing the Patriots there in the AFC. The Super Bowl needs to be something else. Like, I've already said it earlier this year, or earlier this month. I think it's going to be the 49ers versus Ravens, but anything can happen. I would really wish the Texans could make it, because that's who I really am going for. But we'll see how it goes. Now, I will speak out one more thing about the Texans-Titans game. Is like, the Titans were able to punt the ball at the end of the game and get it to the Patriots, or to the Titans 1 yard line, and they were able to get it there, and it was like on the 1 yard line, and then Tom Brady had to threw a pick six, ran it in, and then that was basically the end of the game right there. And that was just a crazy win. I wish I could speak more about it, but there's more playoff games today. There's the Eagles versus Seahawks, and there's the Saints versus Vikings. My picks today are definitely, I think the Saints are going to beat the Vikings. Kirk Cousins effect. I think he's not going to play well in this game. They're going to probably try and rely on their run game. I don't even know if Dalvin Cook is back. They're probably going to try and rely on their run game, and it's probably not going to work. And I think that the Saints are going to take care of business. The Saints really should be the top seed. They're 13-3. They really should be the top seed, but sadly, the 49ers and Green Bay have the top 2 seeds. And I really think that the Saints are probably better than those teams, to be honest. They have the better quarterback out of both of those. I just think they should be there, but I think the Saints are going to take care of business, honestly. I think this may be a blowout. Now, the Eagles, Seahawks, I think the Eagles are going to take care of business here. I hate to say it. I like Carson Wentz. I know their team is banged up, and the Seahawks team, I mean, they lost both their running backs, and they had to get Marshawn Lynch and some other guy, just basically had to sign them. They weren't even playing. The other guy, I don't know if he was, but I know Marshawn Lynch has been retired for like a year. But I just think that their run game is not going to be really good, the Seahawks. I think that they're going to have to rely on Russell Wilson more than usual, and I think the Eagles, now Carson Wentz has been playing really good, and they have a new running back. I can't remember his name. And they have another one that's been playing really well too. And I think the Eagles, their run game, and with Carson Wentz playing like he's been playing, I think they're going to take care of business. Their defense has been showing up a lot more, and I think that the Eagles, given in this game, I think they could make a run. In my opinion, has changed within the last week over the Eagles, because I was thinking they don't have a chance against the Seahawks, but I really think the Eagles can beat them. I really do. What was keeping me from thinking the Eagles could beat the Seahawks was because the last, 3 or 4 games they played, I mean, it was like Redskins, Giants, Cowboys, you know what I mean? And I'm a Cowboys fan, but let's be honest, when they beat us, we've been so on and off all year, mediocre. Like, I'm not even going to say we were a good team they beat. So their last 3 to 4 games, that they won were just against mediocre teams, either 500 or below 500, so it's just, I think that it's just hard to tell if those were real wins or not. Like, who are they? If they play a winning team, are they going to win? Are they good? I don't know. But we'll see. The Seahawks are still a pretty good team. They still have a lot of playmakers. So if they go in and beat them, we'll see how it goes. Because if they win, they have to either go in and play either the 49ers or the Green Bay Packers. And I think they would have a chance against the Green Bay Packers because they beat them earlier this season. But the 49ers, I don't see them beating that team. So if I were them, I'd be wishing that I can start off with Green Bay, and then if I can get past them and get to the NFC Championship game, then hopefully, man, I was thinking, it's like, well, maybe if the Vikings somehow beat the Saints and they somehow go in and beat the 49ers, I would be hoping that they go in and beat they have the Vikings if I were them. Because the Vikings is literally their best bet to win, I think. Because if they have to face the 49ers or the Saints in the NFC Championship game, I think they're done. But we'll see. So today's picks on who's going to win these playoff games, I think the Saints will beat the Vikings, and I think the Eagles will beat the Seahawks. Well, anyways, that's it, guys. That was my takes on the playoff games that have either happened or are going to happen this weekend. All right. Peace out.